All right, here we go. Here we are. We're about a whole 30 seconds early, but I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. We are here with one Michael Knight with Spyglass Games. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
Hey, it's been fun. I enjoyed talking to you backstage a good bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. It's always nice to get uh, other creators on here so we can talk industry instead of because I do comic books as well, and
Mhm.
as well as the board games. But tell me about Spyglass.
So Spyglass, we formed in 2015, and it was a collaboration of three of us who were friends, and we kind of came about doing it because we at that time we created our first game, and it was just something we made as a print and play, and enough people had encouraged us to try and print it and make it an actual game. So we incorporated as a business, put that out, and we're still here, and we've got more games coming out. And we've added people in through the years. We started out with three of us. Now the team is up to six of us. So
Good. Yeah, I've been fortunate to have found out about your company ever since the Venom Assault stuff. But you have something new coming out pretty soon, yeah?
yeah, we have the one next coming out is Dead Man's Chess. It is a chess adjacent game where essentially the figures will move like chess pieces, but they actually have battlefield cards that let you move in different ways. You've got ways to boost the figures to change how they act. There's factions that have their own abilities, their own spells, their own item cards they can attach to the figures. And if you just want really cool looking chess pieces, these are regulation chess pieces as well. For
I think it's cutting for a second. Nice. Yeah, I hope we didn't lose you. I think it did freeze though.
sets, and that'll be coming into Kickstarter in July 26th.
It's coming to Kickstarter when? Because we did lose you. Might have to refresh you in there on that one. But yeah, I've been looking at this one. I'll be honest with you. While he's loading, while he's coming back in, I've been looking at this because while I do enjoy strategy type games, I was never a really big, a chess person because it just seemed, I don't know, just never really fit me. I'm an Amerithrash guy all the way, right? But this one, when it adds with adding the strategy cards, the spell cards, and everything else, I was taking a look at it, and I believe you said this one is coming out soon. See if we can't get him back in here. Hey, it would not be a laughing rogue or a big sexy outdoor stream if we didn't have technical difficulties of some kind. That's just what we do. Not a big deal. He'll jump back in and we'll put him in here. But yeah, that's so. If you're into chess or if you like, you want something different. Heck, maybe you have a chess club at school and you want to throw something different in there, just to give it, spice things up a bit. Grab a copy of this. Again, as he said, even if you're not into the whole chess adjacent part where it has all of the extra cards and everything else, it's a regular chess set. It still has all the pieces, and they're cool looking pieces because they're piratey themed. And who doesn't like piratey themed? In fact, I'm going to click on, while we're waiting on them, I'm going to click on this art gallery because that's the kind of thing I like. Let's do control zoom in here. Yeah, plenty. Yeah, look at all those pieces. Yeah, who doesn't want to throw this down? Cthulhu. Everything has to have Cthulhu. Yep, there's the I was just checking to make sure he came in because it's big screen. There, sirens or naga. Is it? I'll have to ask him when he comes in if that's a siren or a naga. No, neat. I didn't even see that one. I like that. The horde. Oh, so it's different factions of chess pieces. Okay. Yeah, he's got to get in here and talk about this one. Because if you can get all these different factions of the chess pieces, people are going Viking crazy these days. You definitely want to get a set of those. And I'm sure, again, with it being modular the way it appears to be, it's like a pre-built army. So I'm sure they can expand it just by adding new armies. And I'm definitely interested in checking that one out. There we go. How you doing? Sorry, I was talking up Dead Man's Chess a bit.
No, that's fine. The internet always gives out the worst possible time.
Yeah. Yeah, I came in here to the gallery for it, and I was noticing that they each have a dashboard, each of the different factions.
Yep. They've got their own dashboard. It's got their abilities. It's got all the rules for the game on there. So it's a very simple game. Essentially, what we tell people is if you know how to play chess, you can play this game. A lot of the chess stuff that, like en passant, castling, if you lose your king, that doesn't exist. Mainly because in this game, every figure has its own combat rating. So you actually roll dice when you try to take a piece, and your king ends up being the most powerful piece in the game. Nice. So we always tell people your king can get out there and whoop ass.
Yeah, I was going down through. Yeah, of course I'm going to like the undead faction because I'm a horror guy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And the Cthulhu one up there.
Yep.
Was this a siren or a naga?
That is a Medusa.
Medusa. Okay, I should have just done that. That would have been smart of me. There we go. Excellent. I like this. Yeah, because these are so far my favorites.
Oh yeah, they're one of my favorites too. They came out looking phenomenal.
And you said this is coming out soon?
Yeah, July 26th. It'll be on Kickstarter.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll make sure to get the link and share it around then, and we'll go from there. All right. Yeah. That one. That again, like you were saying, it's still regulation chess pieces. So if somebody wants to take it into like a chess club, like at school, stock it at the school, they just have really cool chess pieces then if they don't want to use.
And yeah, so there's Staunton is the size we modeled them after. So if you're familiar with chess, they're going to be about the size of Staunton pieces. So they're nice and they're hefty and they just look cool.
Okay. Now, the one of the reasons I reached out to you is because when I saw this one, I was kind of enamored with it from the get-go, and it was my first experience anyway with Spyglass, and that's Venom Assault. What in God's glorious green earth is Venom Assault?
So Venom Assault was it started. So this was the first game we created as a fun thing. We wanted to make a G.I. Joe game. There wasn't anything out at the time. We made a deck builder with dice-based combat. We did take it to Hasbro, and they declined licensing to us. I created my own world and recreated all the characters in there, the scenarios, the missions, and it is our homage to G.I. Joe. Essentially, you've got Freedom Squadron fighting Venom in over-the-top cartoon Saturday morning missions, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, and I wanted to show you this. Let me just make this. Let's put us both up here. Yeah, I do have it. Not only do I have everything sleeved in deck boxes and everything else, right? I laminated every one of them. These are
awesome.
There is nothing going wrong with this. Yeah, that's how much I like this. Yeah. As soon as I saw the art for this on Kickstarter way back, this was what, 2015? Did we say 16?
2016, I think, is when that came out.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yes, I need that. I was spreading it around back then. I mean, I didn't have a channel or anything. It was just me talking to gamers and other companies and people I knew. So, yeah, it was a guaranteed for me to get that one. So one of the things I do like the most about it is the idea of how you fight the masterminds. The why is my brain freezing? My brain's freezing because I was a chaperone for 11-year-old girls today, and I've lost what's left of my mind.
That'll melt your brain, yeah.
But when you go to fight them, you pull out the supporting characters. Anyway, I'll let you tell it, but that is one of my favorite parts of it. Not that I don't like the story, or because the story fits into it just seeps into everything.
Yeah, it's a cool. I like the way we developed. I like how you have to choose a leader to lead the fight, and then your other characters end up supporting that leader, and they give dice to them to add to their dice pool, or they can affect what they roll. But the Venom leader, the AI in the game, as you fight their leaders, they get their own support, which will counteract yours. So it actually makes it look like you're having a, that little fight during the cartoon scene where you had 5 or 6 GI Joes fighting the Venom leaders and their little soldiers. So we tried to recreate that in the game, and it came out really good. I think I really enjoy how it came out.
Yeah. I mean, you could just imagine the blue and red lasers coming crisscross as they're coming, and speaking of the blue and red, it's that the support characters, how they can adjust the leader's stats that makes this interesting. And again, you put in there enough mitigation, because that could have gone horribly wrong. You put enough mitigation in there that you can almost counter some of those, to make it where I have to roll a 5 instead of a 3 to gain a success. And I like that variable success rates. That is really cool. And
it was nice. The one thing I liked about when we were creating it was we wanted to give people the option. We didn't want every card to simply just give more dice. We wanted the support cards to give you different abilities. Like maybe they make a single dice counts as an automatic success, or it adds to the thing, or it gives you some ability to discard some of the cards coming in to support the bad guys. The environments were the other fun thing we had, where we created the different environmental zones, and then certain cards gain greater benefits if you deploy them in that zone. So it really builds into, when you're playing the game, the strategy you want to go for. We've seen people who decided to make all terrain specific deck. They just buy everything specifically for 1 or 2 terrain types, and they specialize in that area, and someone else might specialize in drawing more cards.
Yeah, I've had somebody like that playing with me who was able to draw their entire deck into their hand just because that's how they built, and that's the kind of thing I like. It adds to the strategy for it. Of course, I'm people that know me know I built Slaughterville, and that's geared around modularity, variety, and I like having this. I mean, this is the event stack, for crying out loud. It's huge. All these different events that can happen as you're playing, and again, just really appreciate stuff like that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more deck boxes of cards that are here. Of course, medals. We got the medals in here. I keep those together. Yeah, and the mission variety is, how did you manage to keep those fresh? Because that is a difficult thing.
That took some effort. We sat down because we initially wanted to create the missions. We kept trying to think, what within the boundaries of the game could we do to change those? Because we didn't want everything just to be a look for this card, pull it out. We got into the things like the push pull mechanic in the the Robotron version mission in there, where you have to that pushes up and down the track. We've got the one where you're hunting for a specific character being dragged around the board.
I like that one.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with those. And in the expansion, we did some different things in there where we put it to where the reward cards actually could be bad. They could be traps that would hit you and cause you to lose the mission. We just tried to think of different ways to, kind of change up how the game functions, but keep it within the realm of, you still know what you're doing and how to play, but this might be something a little different, a little out there that you're like, oh, okay, now every Venom leader is getting a bonus because we're this far up the track.
Yep. Yeah, I do like that. I do like the event track as well, how the 1 to 5, and then you still have a chance even if it gets to the 5. But yeah, I do like that scaling difficulty, and again, it just adds to that modularity. And you did have how many cards were in the original? Hey, and again, if you don't remember, believe me, I don't remember how many cards were in my original game.
Oh, people have asked. I think it was like 150. I think of the original.
Yeah, there were a lot of different.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different. And again, I really enjoyed the fact that it could say, pick this one specific Venom leader, but then these ones are randomized. That's the kind of thing I really appreciate in a game. But then we came into this one, Villains and Valor. I did kickstart this one as well because, I mean, come on, I'm not going to miss that.
Yeah, that had the teamwork in, it was something we wanted in the original game, but we just hadn't quite figured out how to make it work. So there is one teamwork card in the original game that we kind of tested it with the theory, and it really did work. So then we just made an expansion that was all teamwork based, where now it's more cooperative, and you're helping your fellow players by playing your cards to give them bonuses as well as their own cards. So you can have them draw cards, you can have them discard things, give them bonuses.
Nice.
And of course, it added new missions and new leaders and new Venom support and whatnot.
Yeah, which again I always appreciate. And having the different, whether they're I want to say infantry, but again my brain's fried. And the locations and the vehicles.
Yep.
I mean that all comes together. And I'll be honest with you. Okay, you want brutal honesty? Because again, I'm always going to be honest. I did also buy the G.I. Joe deck builder.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as good. It's really not. And that's the God's honest truth, because it doesn't have that mission variety, and it just feels so. I've played it maybe 3 times. It's okay, but I can feel it being okay for the nostalgia factor of the actual characters. It just feels so samey.
Yeah, somebody on BGG did that. They did an actual comparison review of the two, and then I watched it, and I was interested because I knew it was coming out.
Sure.
And they did a very honest review, and in the end, he's like, I like them both. He said, but I think Venom Assault just gives you more of that feel of variety, and it feels more like the cartoon did.
Yeah, it really does. It feels a lot more like the missions, and I geeked out quite a bit. Not just for the game. Of course, when you threw the robots in disguise one in there. Robots
we had
in disguise. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, I had to get everything so far. And speaking of everything, I was kind of bummed with this one here because Evolution's your last one.
This is the last one for that game. Yep.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it wraps up. We had other ideas for some stuff we wanted to put in there, but we got done with Evolution. We looked, we're like, okay, it's getting a little heavy on stuff. We ended up putting the final thing we wanted in there, which is the advanced training deck. So now you have the ability to take your base cards you start with, your recruits and commandos, and you can upgrade them into better versions of themselves. So, and it's the advanced training. So now you train your commando into a pilot or a gunner or a spy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the way it works is the mechanic we came up with is if you're training a commando, you will simply discard the commando, retire it. You draw the top card off the advanced training deck. It goes right to your hand. Okay. You don't get to pick anything. But if you do that with a recruit, you get to draw the top 3 cards, choose the one you want to train him into, but then it goes to your discard pile to show that they're taking longer to train than a commando does.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to say, I'll be honest with you, I didn't read the rule book for this one on purpose. Nothing against, anything, of course. But I want to save it for because I like physical rule books.
Yeah.
So I want to save this for when it's going to be in hand to really open it, read it, sleeve it, and laminate it. The whole drill that I'm going to do to it to keep it safe and protected. And again, when I say it's sad that it's the last one, it's not a bad thing, because I really enjoy it, and it's anything that makes me want more. Always leave them wanting more is the phrase, right?
We got to where we were. I was happy with the game as the designer, where I wanted to end it. It is not the last game in that universe. Just to give you a teaser, there is a game coming out in the next couple of years called Freedom Squadron Tactical Warfare. That is going to be a miniatures kind of dungeon crawl skirmish type game.
Nice. Should I just hand you my credit card?
Yeah, we can take care of that after the feed.
I'll just send you the numbers, and we'll just when you get it in, just send it to me. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's good to hear. I like hearing that this is going to continue, because again, it's really fun and immersive. That's my big thing with games. That's why I'll be honest, I hate Euro games, because I like games that tell you a story. I like games that give you fun.
Same here. That's when I designed this game, I wanted there to be a story, and that's where I had fun designing the event cards, because every event card gives you just a slightly it's a little glimpse into more of the story in the world and some of the characters and what's going on.
Yeah, it's good, because there are some that I haven't, because again, with designing games myself, time is limited, but there are still some that I haven't gone through, like the missions and everything, and it's really good to see. I really enjoy seeing the new ones. What I do is I'll take a mission that I've done and I'll flip it over. So I'm like, okay, we can't play this one again for a while.
Yeah.
Go through the stack. And now, when am I going to get to see, or I shouldn't say when are we going to get to see Evolution?
So Evolution will begin, it's leaving the printer on the 6th of June, or June 5th, which is a Sunday. So we'll start shipping it next week. So I imagine people are going to have it before the end of June.
Beautiful. That's good to hear. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for that. That's been one that as soon as I saw it on your, I think I saw it on one of your Facebook posts that this was coming out, and it was a last week to back for it. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't get this. Because I'm used to it coming to Kickstarter, and I didn't see it there. So
yeah. we didn't take this one to Kickstarter because we wanted to kind of see how it would fly on its own, just direct pre-order, and it did phenomenal. I mean, everyone who bought the original game came back, they got this one, so it just was really nice to see that we could carry a game through without going to Kickstarter. So that was really nice, and the support everyone sent and a lot of the nice comments people made on BGG, it was really nice to see people go, I'm sorry to see the game end, I love it, but this is awesome. So
that's awesome. And again, they can it did save you that whole Kickstarter 10% thing too. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, and it was small enough that we were able just to go right to the printer with it and pay the cost up front and just get it out.
Yeah, and you do have all the rule books up, some FAQs if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are interested, they want to come over here and read it, they can head on over to spyglassgames.com. Links in the description, as well as I put it in the comments here, just because I wanted to do that, and they can gladly come here and read it.
Yeah. And if anyone has questions, I'm always on Board Game Geek, so you can drop comments in there, and I'll always answer any questions people have.
Yeah, Corporal Carnage is awesome.
Yeah. So there's a funny story I'm going to tell you really fast about that one. We reached out to Sergeant Slaughter, the actual guy who that character was based off of, and he told us, he said, you can't use the name Sergeant Slaughter because it's owned by various entities. He said, but you can use my face as long as you make me doing something badass.
Nice.
So we did.
Nice.
And he loved it. We actually sent him a giant 11x17 blow up of it, and he has a picture of himself with it. He's like, this is amazing.
That is awesome. That is great. I mean, you don't get to see that too often. I mean, when they're that friendly and that open to you, it's always good to see.
Oh yeah, it was a fun conversation with him.
Yeah, he was one of the wrestlers I never got to meet, and that I was really bummed about it, because he always seemed like a good guy. I got to meet like the Iron Sheik and other people, and nothing against them, they were all good guys too. But yeah, that's awesome to have one of those classic characters come in, and I like to see the art here too. I always liked this one. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the Patriot. Yeah,
the color scheme on this one just really sold it for me. And I always liked the idea that it had the locations, and the fact that each vehicle or thing worked in the different environments. It gave, again, that nice variety, but you were still able to use it somewhere else. Yeah. I'm not. Oh, yeah. You can't say enough good about them. So yeah, if anybody wants to grab some of the cool art, you have it up available here, and there we go. Now, it's not just Venom Assault. We also had the Freedom Squadron, the RPG. Now let me. StreamYard used to let you just switch between tabs when you were sharing. But unfortunately, now you got to stop the share, then go to a new tab.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
That's a pain. I don't like when they make improvement changes like that.
Yeah, I like that, improvements. Yeah. But yeah, you actually made, and again, as people know here, I love RPGs. I have like the Alien RPG. I've been playing D&D since the 80s. When it was advanced D&D with the hexes and everything else.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, people ask me if I played D&D. I'm like, yeah, I played D&D. I said, I played when dwarf and elf were a class. And they're like, that's not true. I'm like, yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Way back. And I now, unfortunately, as people know, the family does not really get into them. But I love to collect them. I have so many sitting here. Heck, I bought did you ever hear the Monolith Conan game? How they did all those minis? I bought that just to have all those minis for the Conan RPG.
Yep, I actually did the same thing because the miniatures were fantastic.
They were awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got so many stacks of RPGs. I'm like you. I've got a closet full of them. They'll never play because no one plays them anymore with me. But I love having them to read through them and just get the backstories and the history and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And you did a Freedom Squadron RPG as well, based on, of course, Venom Assault.
Yeah, so it actually is. It lets you make your characters in the actual Freedom Squadron. You start out as a recruit, and you work your way up to a codenamed soldier, and you get a pick. But the cool thing is, part of the rules is your team, the people you play with, your teammates help you pick your code name, which is kind of a cool concept. And it's expanded. We just had the last Kickstarter came up. There was 2 new books got added, a bunch of adventures. There's going to be 2 more books coming out here next year for the occult operations and the advanced tech to add some new stuff in as well.
Nice.
And it's there's a lot in there. And Ross Watson, who worked for Games Workshop, did a lot of the writing for us.
Okay. In fact, I know I like drive-through RPG, of course, but I want to show them. Whoops. Okay, let me just do Freedom Squadron so that they can see this. There we go. This is the Friends and Foes one. Then you had the original Savage Worlds one. But yeah, all that they're going to get with this, because again,
there's a lot of stuff with it. The Friends and Foes neat because it actually. So if you get Friends and Foe, you're going to see all new characters that are not in the board game. They're going to be in there. There's at least, I think, 15 to 20 brand new characters with their own original artwork in that game.
Nice. And again, that's something I've always been interested in, of course, again, because I love the RPGs, is making them. How did you get connected with, and I believe you said it was Evil Beagle that did yours?
So yeah, they ended up playing Venom Assault, and they tracked us down. It was funny. We got a phone call and they're like, "Hi, we're Evil Beagle Games. We got an idea, a proposition we want to talk to. We met at a Panera Bread," and they basically said, they work with Savage Worlds and Pinnacle, and they wanted to create it as a RPG line. So we said, yeah, and I've worked with them for the last several years doing that, and it's been phenomenal.
Nice.
Just seeing them take the world I created and expanding on it even more. There's stuff in the RPG that expands the storylines you see in the board game even further. One of the coolest things they're doing is they're taking each of the missions in the board game and they're going to be making an adventure path 5 books long based on that mission. So you actually can play through the Shroud of Darkness.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be really cool. I got to see some of those. They're really good.
And they'll be able to get the original manual, and you said it was an updated original manual with this.
Yes. So the Commandos manual has been updated because Savage Worlds has gone through a change and they got a new version. So we released a brand new book that went back and just updated everything to the new set. So you can get both depending what version of Savage Worlds you want to play in. But yeah, they're both there. The new book does have the old rules plus the new rules. So
nice. And you can't argue with a I mean, this is the PDF for only $17, $16.95. You can't beat that with a stick. You know?
Nah, yeah, and it's a big manual too. There's a lot in there.
You got the character
And
sheet
they run games at convention. A lot of conventions they run games at it.
Oh, nice. We'll have to. I'll have to find their stuff and link to it as best I can, and spread the word of this, because again, love RPGs, and I'd like to just keep sharing that. That would be nice. Yeah. And right now, yeah, you can get it on Drive-Through RPG, which I think you can get most everything through them anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. That's good. That's good. Always good to see the world expanding. Always good. Because yeah, I thought about doing a Slaughterville RPG or the Gods of Metal RPG. You know what was really funny? Not to break topic. I was doing Gods of Metal on Kickstarter, and there we go. And as I was doing it, I saw this, and I'm never somebody else was doing a Gods of Metal RPG. I mean, of course, it wasn't based on anything I was doing, but I thought, what are the odds? Same month, two different companies, two different people are doing something called Gods of Metal. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I reached out to them about doing a collaboration thing, but they weren't into it. So I'm like, that's fine, no big deal.
Oh well.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I still think it's cool though. I give them credit.
That is cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to. I can't wait to see more of the RPG. Now, speaking of more, you're not the kind of guy that would rest on his laurels, as they say.
Oh heck no.
No, you've got something coming out that, again, I don't know what it is with you that you just want to steal all my money, but I'm happy to hand it off to you here. Tell me about this guy.
So Phantoms of Manhattan is you're going to see several of these. This is our homage to the Ghostbusters cartoon, except we have again, in my style, I've taken that and I've created a world set in 1920s New York, and those are all the playable characters in the game right there. There are 30 something, I believe. They are all different. They have their own stats, their own abilities. The game itself is going to be 2 to 5 players. You will choose a phantom we call them, and you will actually be getting missions. You'll be getting calls from people who are asking you to go out to investigate various buildings in New York, and you will be able to do this as a team. So you can work. It is 100% cooperative if you want to work cooperatively. You will go to the board, on the board to an area. There'll be cards you're going to have to look through to find various phantoms or ghosts, like the living artwork there. The animated artwork is one of the cards. And you will end up fighting them with your different weapons. And the big point of the game is you'll be earning money by going on these calls, and you're going to be spending the money to upgrade your suits that you wear, getting better equipment, different types of throwers or packs, if you like. Better things to trap ghosts in. You better equipment. You can get a car you can upgrade to drive people around the board. Throughout the entire game, as you're going, the city's getting worse and worse off, becoming more and more haunted. And at some point, it's going to trigger what we call the greater evil, which is going to appear. And similar to like Betrayal House on the Hill, you're going to have 2 cards that will tell you where to go in the book, and it's going to tell you what greater evil has appeared, and it's going to tell you it's going to have a story like Venom Assault did with its missions, and it's going to change the game a little bit and how you are now doing something completely different, and you're going to be fighting that greater evil.
Nice. And I like, again, since it's cooperative, and even though it says 2 to 5, I could play 2-handed.
Yes.
If I can't find anybody, because it's co-op. I was never a fan of the semi-co-op where you're not really working together, even though you're supposed to be. So yeah,
this is 100% co-op. I mean, so we've got it set where if you are on the same space with another player and they go to fight a spirit, a ghost, a phantom, whatever's on that board on that space, you actually get to join them in the fight and boost their combat. And if you guys win, you get some of the money that's paid out to them.
Nice.
So everyone can share money, and a lot of the characters have synergies that work together specifically for that. There are characters that we did make that are not cooperative based, because there are people who don't want to be cooperative. You don't have to be, but a lot of the characters will blend together and play off each other in some really neat ways.
Nice. Were there any Ben Affleck jokes?
No. There's a ton of Ghostbuster Easter eggs hidden throughout a lot of the cards, a lot of the story cards that come up. So
good. Yeah, I can't wait for this one. So yeah, and when are we going to get a chance to have a more of a look at or a chance to get this one?
So we're getting a lot of the artwork in now. We're gonna start posting more. We're going to start the Tabletop Simulator version should be up in August or September for people to start playing it, and we're going to start putting some videos up showing the gameplay and how it works.
Nice. Yeah, Tabletop Simulator, like you were saying back in when we were doing the behind the scenes or the backstage stuff, that is a big tool that's helped out a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, it lets people get on there and check out the game and see what it's like and if they want to play it. In fact, Venom Assault is on there. Dead Man's Chest is on there. This is going to be on there. So we've got some other games that are in beta versions on there as well. If you happen to dig them up, you can find some of our future titles that are in playtesting.
Nice. Yeah, 40 plus boss.
Yes.
That's good. That's always
and
good.
they've all got story to them, and this not small story. There's some pretty in-depth story that leads up to who they are, what they're doing, and how you fight them. And again, the game will shift at that point to you're no longer trying to take care of you have to it depends on the boss. Some bosses you have to take care of the city. Some you got to focus on them. You may have to split the team and be like, you guys need to do this. We need to go do this.
Well, I know I'm excited for it at least.
It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. And it plays right around an hour.
Oh wow!
Even with the full 5 players, your first game you get used to it, but after about that, most of the games clock in right about an hour.
That is hard to do.
Yeah, we streamlined down. We had a lot of people who said Venom Assault ran a little long, so we found a way to streamline Phantoms. And out of the 300 or 400 games we played, they all end right about a 60-minute mark, which is nice.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's quite a bit that you've got coming out, and I'm sure you've got a lot more. Like you said, you got a lot in development that are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And again, what's the best place where people can reach you at? I know I found you on Facebook.
So if the best way is if people want to reach us, they can go to Facebook for Spyglass Games. They can just like our page and they can PM us on there. You can find us on Board Game Geek. If you go to our website, you can drop us an email. We'll respond to that. Typically, I've got access to Facebook all the time. So if anybody's got a question, they can just drop something in there and I'll answer.
Okay.
And we're always dropping little things on our Facebook page to let people know what's kind of coming up. We do share a lot of our artwork on Instagram as well, so people can kind of hop over there and see a lot of the artwork for games that we have coming out.
Nice. Yeah, I just looked on here, and I'm looking at that you were at Genghis Con this last weekend.
Yeah, Genghis Con was a great convention. We're going to be at Origins next week.
Okay. I was going to ask where else can we see you then?
We're gonna be Origins, Gen Con, PAX Unplugged, Board Game Geek. There's a couple other ones we're gonna be coming with you. We kind of post them on our Facebook page, let people know where we're gonna be at, so they can kind of track us down and find us. We do a lot of local conventions here in Denver as well. We've got BCon coming up and Tecticon as well, and CoboldCon coming up here locally.
Nice. Yeah, it's good that things are opening back up and we can actually get back out again, because it
really is. I've loved getting out there to meet the people and just get the hands on with the games is phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, I think we've kept you for pretty long here, and I'm sorry to have done that to you.
No, you're fine. I had a great time talking to you.
I really enjoyed this too, and it was a lot of fun. I'd love to have you back on when we get more Phantoms or when we get the RPG stuff going.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be great to see you again.
I would love to come back on. I'll make sure I drag some people from Evil Beagle to come with me, and they can talk a little bit more about the RPG and how they created it and what's in the future for them.
That'd be awesome. All right. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna call it a night because it was a heck of a long day for me, and again, I'm sure this is late for you.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes a Wednesday at 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern.
Okay.
If that might be easier for you to do game demos and things. We can.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, we can definitely let me know what you got, and we'll hop on.
Excellent. All right.
Thanks.
But we're gonna call it a day, and I appreciate you coming in.
Yo, thanks for having me on, Chris. You guys have a good night.
Thanks. We'll see you, buddy.
Take care.